So, Simon, they say that some of the best ideas come from when you're laid up and can't do anything else. Tell me, first of all, what had happened to you when you first came up with the idea for this book?
I broke my leg skiing, probably one of the easiest off-piste routes around. I broke my fibula a couple of years ago, and and I was laid up in my apartment in Tignes for a couple of months afterwards.
And you thought, I know, I'll write the definitive off-piste guide to teen. That's not going to take long, is it?
Well, I already had the idea that I could, because I have a software background, I already had the idea that I could use software to make a much better guide than typically out there. Just from using GPS tracks of the routes, which I already had, because I've been saving them from years, and then combining that with open data such as OpenStreetMap data and also satellite data that was gathered by NASA on elevation. I could use that to discover aspect and slope incline and altitude of all parts of the route, and actually create a really rich amount of information in a guide that it just wouldn't be possible to do without software automating it.
Now, obviously, you've done a lot, or if not all, of the routes in Teen because you've been coming here many years, but there was still a lot of work to be done, I would imagine.
In terms of writing the book, or in terms of skiing a few more?
Well, skiing a few more first and then actually writing it.
Yeah, it prompted me to go and ski a few that I hadn't skied that I was waiting to. I mean, there's a hell of a lot of work in putting it together, and it wasn't just me; it was a huge team. So there's a lot of work involved in chasing people for things, for instance. But really, what motivated me to do it was the software. I love writing code, so being able to write code to produce something that I'm interested in, like skiing, was a great opportunity.
So we've got the book there. I mean, just give me an example of one of the things that is really unique that nobody had ever really thought of doing for an off-piste guide before.
Okay, so looking at the guidebook here, with every guide has got, well, a couple of things. Firstly, it's got these aspect profile charts, and it's also got a QR code. So the QR code is quite simple. If you scan it with your phone, you can download a KML file, and you can have a look at it in Google Earth or any other mapping application, which makes it really easy to see where the route is. It's much better than a kind of obscure route description that takes a long time to kind of figure out where it is. And the other innovation was the aspect profile charts. So they show you what aspects you're going to be skiing at what altitudes, at what steepness. So after reading the avalanche report for the day, which in Tignes comes out about 4 p.m. the night before, you can start planning about what you want to do. And there's an index at the back that shows all of the routes in order of aspect. So it's really quick to have a look at what the snow's doing, what the avalanche conditions are doing, and create a short list of things you might want to consider for the next day.
Well, I happen to know, because I've skied with you, that you're a fairly extreme skier. You go out with ropes, you abseil, you've got crampons, ice axes, all that sort of thing. Has this book got anything for the slightly more timid off-piste skier?
Yeah, it's got everything from really easy routes all the way up to the harder ones. I think Tignes lends itself to harder routes because it's quite steep, and for every you can fit a lot of steep couloirs in the same space. You'd be able to fit a huge open powder field in, because by definition huge open powder fields are huge. So there are things at the high end, but I haven't I've included lots of routes at the low end.
And I suppose I ought to say, presumably you'll be moving on to Val d'Isère next to do the whole linked area?
That's probably the next project, yes. And with the software that I've built can just be rerun on a different data set, and I've already got all of or many off-piste routes tracked in Val d'Isère that I can use.
And I should also say you've not done this to make lots of money. The proceeds, the profits, are going to a charity.
Yeah, so all of the profits from the book are going to Soleil, which is it's a simple charity in Tignes that essentially just collects money and sends it off to cancer research down in Lyon. So yeah, they make all the proceeds, and we're hoping if we sell all of them, because there are many shops in and around Tignes that are going to be selling the book without actually marking the price up, so the charity gets the full turnover, as it were. So if we sell all of them, we should make about €70,000 for charity.
Brilliant. And just one final point. Sadly, neither you nor I are going to be actually trying out the book in the very near future because we're both on crutches. So you've had a hip resurfacing and I've just done my ACL. So maybe we'll ski together next season.
Yeah, hopefully next season.
Thanks very much, Simon.
Thank you.